3. European Union, Africa Refugee Action Plan. This topic is important under General Studies Paper 1. Human Geography, Demographic Attributes, Causes and Consequences of Migration. Why recently in news? European Union to provide initial €1.8 billion, $1.9 billion, to a new emergency trust fund to support projects aimed at reducing refugee flows from Africa to Europe, and displacement of people within Africa. Future development cooperation to focus on projects which will reduce migratory pressures. Includes fostering jobs and economic growth in areas refugees come from or transit through. A scheme to reduce the development impact of remittances by cutting transfer costs and joint research on the causes of migration. Why the European Union is attracting the migrants in huge numbers. Pushed by civil war and terror and pulled by the promise of a better life, hundreds of thousands of people have fled the Middle East and Africa, risking their lives along the way. Instability and the Second Civil War in Libya have made departures easier from the North African country, with no central authority controlling Libya's ports and dealing with European countries, and migrant smuggling networks flourishing. So European Union became destination country for migrants looking for better jobs. Due to Syrian crisis, the number of Syrian refugees applying for asylum in Europe steadily increased between 2011 and 2015. Refugees from African countries such as Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic and Eritrea are seeking to settle preferentially in those national destinations offering more generous social welfare benefits. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, as of November 2015, the top 3 nationalities of the over 500,000 Mediterranean Sea arrivals since the beginning of the year are Syrian, 52%, Afghan, 19%, and Iraqi, 6%. What routes are people using? The Western African route, the Western Mediterranean route, the Central Mediterranean route, the Apulia and Calabria route, the circular route from Albania to Greece, the Western Balkan route, from Greece through Macedonia and Serbia to Hungary or Croatia, the Eastern Mediterranean route, the Eastern Borders route. In addition, an Arctic route had emerged by September 2015. Where are they going next? Under an European Union rule known as the Dublin Regulation, refugees are required to claim asylum in the member state in which they first arrive. But some European Union countries, such as Greece, Italy, and Croatia, have been allowing migrants and refugees to pass through to countries where they have families and better prospects. Germany receives by far the most asylum applications in the European Union and says it is expecting 800,000 refugees to arrive this year. In order to match Germany's 2015 projection per population, France would need to accept more than 650,000 people and the UK nearly the same amount. But France has pledged to accept just 24,000 and the UK 20,000 over 5 years. Between 2,000 and 5,000 migrants are camped around Calais, which is just 1% to 2.5% of the more than 200,000 who have landed in Italy and Greece. Hundreds of thousands of people are somewhere along the route to Germany, in Hungary, Croatia, Austria, Serbia, and elsewhere. How do migrants get asylum status in the European Union? They have to satisfy the authorities that they are fleeing persecution and would face harm or even death if sent back to their country of origin. Under European Union rules, an asylum seeker has the right to food, first aid and shelter in a reception center. They should get an individual assessment of their needs. They may be granted asylum by the authorities at first instance. If unsuccessful, they can appeal against the decision in court, and may win. Asylum seekers are supposed to be granted the right to work within 9 months of arrival. 4. Legal loopholes driving Indian star tortoise to extinction. This topic is important under General Studies Paper 3. Conservation of Biodiversity and Extinction of Threatened Species. Why recently in news? Researchers from World Animal Protection have established that more than 55,000 tortoises are being poached from just one site alone in Southeast India each year. In the first study to examine the trade of Indian star tortoise for over 15 years, the World Animal Protection has put forth evidence of a thriving international criminal operation, with tortoises being smuggled in boxes hidden under food items like vegetables or fish. Many don't survive the long and illegal journey, and those who do survive suffer in confined spaces. Often they die prematurely from malnutrition, suffocation or the overwhelming stress of confinement. Why Indian star tortoise is being exploited? The study published in the scientific journal Nature Conservation describes Thailand, one of the primary destinations for the smuggled animals, as a hub of illegal trade activity. It's illegal in India to possess and commercially trade star tortoises, but not in Thailand, which has made them the most frequently seized tortoise recorded by Thai authorities between 2008 and 2013. Despite being protected in India since the 1970s, legal loopholes in other Asian countries such as Thailand and China appear to undermine India's enforcement efforts. So Thailand should prohibit private ownership by extending its domestic legislation to also cover non-native species. About Indian star tortoise. Indian star tortoises, Geochelone elegans, occurs in semi-arid, thorny and grassland habitats. It is also found in some regions featuring a higher level of precipitation. Not surprisingly, given its propensity for grassland habitats, it grazes extensively upon mixed grasses. The ground color of the shell is light cream to dark yellowish-brown, and a number of wedge-shaped black fields on each scute form the characteristic star pattern. Aging radiated tortoises grow very dark due to the radiating pattern being lost by wear. Old star tortoises tend to become increasingly yellow as the black fields are worn out.